Bokeh backgrounds are very interesting and photos with a strong bokeh effect are achieved with lenses with a very wide aperture. The areas in our frame with brighter light become large pads of light, creating this artistic effect. So, how do we make the bokeh effect in Photoshop? To create a good bokeh effect in Photoshop, first choose a photo suitable for bokeh, taken in a dark environment and with lights in the photo taken. We can say that cars traveling in traffic, illuminated city, landscape photos or street photos are among the most suitable photos for this. After opening our photo, let's first select the Field Blur option under the Blur Gallery menu under the Filter menu to turn this photo into a background made with bokeh technique. We will apply the bokeh effect and bokeh technique through this window. There are two fields we will use in this window. One is blur and the other is light bokeh under the effects panel. We will try to create a bokeh effect using these and let's start directly. When we increase the blur value here, the blur value on the photo will also increase. When the blur value increases, we need to increase the light bokeh value here to turn the lights on the photo to the bokeh effect. When we do this, we will already see clearly what kind of result we will get. I increase the light bokeh. I increase it almost until the end. And we see that the light on the photo turn into a round glow. This gives us the bokeh effect. The more you increase this light bokeh value, the brighter the lights, the brighter the flares will be in the bokeh effect. These two options definitely can't be set to have a fixed value, because these are values that may vary according to the photo. Therefore, we need to look at your photo and determine the most suitable image ourselves. I had to increase it all the way up here. By increase the blur value here, I indirectly play with the size of the flares that provide the bokeh effect on the photo. Such an effect is not bad. If the edits we have made are sufficient on the photo, you can apply the effect you have made to the photo by clicking the OK button here. Let's go through another example. We have a new photo. This time, unlike before, it's a more sparkling, light-filled photo. Let's see how the bokeh effect looks on this photo. I go back to Field Blur under Blur Gallery, under Filter, and I immediately make my edits. I blur it a little bit, and I increase the light bokeh option. When it is too fancy, it causes explosions like this, and I can't say that we actually get the effect that I want. That's why you should prefer photos with darkness and good light ratio. I'm clicking to cancel and let's move on to the next photo. This one, for example, has a sufficiently dark environment and there are enough lights in the dark environment to create a sufficient bokeh effect. Let's see how the bokeh effect looks on this image. I'm going to increase the blur value. I'm going to leave it in the middle and I will increase the light bokeh option. Yes, this image is much better than the other one. By increasing the blur option a little bit more, we can really get the full bokeh effect. If I increase it too much, it is going to look like a single flare here, because the bokeh areas are going to overlap each other. And these effects that look like a single flare, which is white, might not sound very good. So we are going to try to find bokeh effects with more different tones, like here. I think it's not bad. I click OK. And then you can put your portrait photo, for example, on top of this photo to make it look like there is a bokeh effect behind it. Again, in this example here, let's apply a filter with Field Blur. I increase this and the black and white balance looks good. It is actually very appropriate to take advantage of cityscapes and still lights to create the bokeh effect in this way. The bokeh effect of a photo with a cityscape and a frame with still lights can produce much more realistic results, much more pleasing to the eye. For example, I like this one very much. We can see the transition to this photo by clicking OK. Let's come to our last photo. This is our last photo, again with still lights. How do we get the bokeh effect on this photo? I select Field Blur under Blur Gallery, increase the blur level and increase the light bokeh option. It is a bit more difficult to get the balance here than in the others, because the lights here are very close together, but we can get a photo that looks approximately like this. When you click on this option, this checkbox under the Blur Tools panel, you can go back to the original version of the photo. You can view the original version. This works more like a preview. By clicking on this, we can see the before and after the effect has been applied. This photo was like that. I can say that I like this photo the most among these photos. In this tutorial, I showed you how to turn an ordinary photo into a photo with bokeh effect. If you pay attention to the topics I mentioned in this tutorial, you can turn your night photos into a photo with bokeh effect. The bokeh effect looks really artistic and we can use it in many areas. If today's video was useful to you, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just click the subscribe button below this video. Thank you for watching.